Okay, we have our oven on 350. I did the ground meat earlier because I forgot to grab my camera, but that's okay. I'm going to show it to you now. You see, I've put the meat in the pan, in the parchment, flattened it out. I added the salt, the pepper, and the broth. Mixed it all together, flattened it out, cut it, and poked the holes in it. As you can see, I used a end of a chopstick. And what we're going to do now is we're going to continue the recipe. I'll put the recipe thing right here. Okay, so now you know what we're making. We're making sliders. It is New Year's Eve. And this is what Steve and I are going to do. Now what I do is I have to take the meat, whoops, almost dropped it, the meat out. You see it's froze. I've had it in the freezer. Ooh, look at the frost on there. So now the recipe tells me that I have to put the rest of the broth and the onions in the pan there and let it rest and soak up for just a few minutes. I'll be back after that part's done. Okay, we put our dehydrated chopped onions into the broth and we let it rest for 5 or 10 minutes. Now at this point, the oven's preheated. The onions and all are in the pan there, and they're soaking up some, I'm going to shake it a little bit. They're soaking up the broth. And now the next step will be to let it rest for 10 minutes. Alright, we're past our 10 minutes. Let me just adjust this to where you can see it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm taking my meat and I'm putting the meat right down in here like they tell you. See, it fits because we pressed it out in there. And from here, you see the holes are there. We're going to open the oven. And, oh, it does look blue. Okay. We're going to put this in the oven. They say 10 minutes or until brown. Ta-da! Okay, I got the bread standing on the side. I'm going to slice them down the middle right here. See if I can do this. We want to keep going to the middle. Let me do this, because I don't want to mess the roll up. I've got 18 rolls because I'm going to pull these apart. I have 18 rolls because I had a little bit more than a pound of ground meat, and I just made it all, so it actually made, the recipe says 16, but I have 18. So there. So I'm going to do this to the rest of the buns, and I'll be back with you. As you can see, I have cut all the buns. I've separated them. These are the tops. These are the bottoms. Okay, so now it's time to pull these out. Cool. They shrunk a little bit, huh? That's okay. That's because we added fluid to it. So, here's our meat. We're going to put our buns on it. I'll be right back. Now, because our meat shrunk, I'm only going to wind up making 12 because I wanted the burgers a little bigger because it was small. They were just little squares. So I got the bun lids on. I'm going to grab my, put them back in. Oops, shut the door. And we put them back in long enough to steam cook them buddies. So, now what I'm going to do, since we don't have pickles and we don't do cheese, I'm going to get some mustard and put on there. Okay, I put this mustard Raging Cajun mustard. I've covered all the bottoms. Now what it tells me to do is I take a spatula and I pick up the burgers and I put them up on top of here. So I will be right back. Okay, it says for me to take a burger. I don't think we want to put that many onions on it. Oops, upside down. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to pick them up and we're going to put them down. When I get them all, I shall be back. Okay, as you can see, I've got them all done up. Now comes the taste test. Popsicle. Okay, Popsicle, I want you to try out the sliders there for me. Look around this way. Are they good?
Yes, they're good.
Tastes like a White Castle slider?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. The Copycat White Castle sliders seem to be approved. Have a good day. Happy New Year's.